Welcome, Reka Shepherd, your candidate for Ward 4.
Good morning, March. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really excited to be here today.
Very good. Reka, I'm looking forward to hearing the responses to the questions I have sent you. I've asked you to respond to these 4 questions within about 2 minutes. We'll start right away. Our first question is, how would you describe the value of our heritage, and how would you like to see Richmond Hill's 150th anniversary celebrated next year?
First of all, March, thank you for these incredible questions. I had to spend a lot of time trying to narrow down all the things that I tried to fit in there. So I have my notes prepared. I apologize if I glance down. With regards to your first question, one of the most incredible attributes of our city, and particularly Ward 4, is the historical value of our village core and its surrounding neighborhoods. These neighborhoods are a wonderful reflection of our long heritage and deep history. In my opinion, our village core has to be cherished, protected, revitalized, and promoted to be known as the ultimate destination for both Richmond Hill and visitors to enjoy. With our 150th anniversary coming up in 2023, it's my vision to work with various stakeholders, such as Richmond Hill's Historical Society, Heritage Richmond Hill, and the Village of Richmond Hill BIA, to make sure that we create various Richmond Hill-centric programs, Richmond Hill slideshows, so showcasing our rich history, creating anniversary walking tours, creating 150th anniversary banners to line the street with the BIA, and a lot more. At the last council meeting, I introduced a motion that will ultimately lead to specific actions that can be undertaken with the partnership of the city and the BIA and other stakeholders. I'm very delighted that this motion passed. We'll see in the upcoming months staff working together with our stakeholders to develop specific action plans to realize at least part of this plan. I'm looking forward in the next 4 years to continue my involvement with HRH and the Village of Richmond Hill BIA, and to use the Office of the Councillor as a liaison between these two to promote our rich heritage and history.
Thank you very much for that very detailed response. We'll go on to the second question. The majority of Richmond Hill residents are very car dependent. This has us with a large carbon footprint and thus contributing to the degradation of our environment. Do you see us resigned to live like this? Would you support changes to the municipal zoning rules to permit non-residential uses in areas that are now strictly residential? Should new subdivisions be designed differently?
This was a really good one, Marge. First of all, I absolutely do not see us resign to accepting our current level of car dependence and accepting the status quo, whether it's for the city and our community. I think that both us, the city and the community, we have serious commitments, and we have actions set in place to address the climate change. The city, for example, on the city-led front, I can point to a number of key programs that are very much looking to address the car dependency and other issues that contribute to climate change. Our official plan update, which are currently being implemented through various bylaw changes, they're specifically underpinned by the city's commitment to ensuring responsible development that is environmentally, socially, and economically sustainable. Our official plan updates include specific action plans around directing development away from our natural heritage features and functions and buffers, ensuring that development doesn't negatively impact our environmental features and their functions. We are supporting provisions for alternative energy, and we're applying complete streets principles, which prioritize active transportation, accounting for micro mobility. We're providing support for alternative infrastructure such as trails, dedicated bike lanes, bike parking, street trees, and other measures provided to create a hospitable environment for pedestrians, essentially. We're supporting the provision of future high-order transit communities, including subway and transit hub. These are all intended to reduce Richmond Hill's carbon footprint. We're also, banning the use of single-use plastics in all city locations, and all of these will be phased in, but they'll bring us closer to to, addressing climate change. Additionally, the city has adopted a climate change framework with the purpose, which is focused on Richmond Hill's climate change mandate, and to ensure an approach that is collaborative and coordinated. This is an extensive citywide program that we're implementing, and it serves as a solid foundation to actions that can be taken by the city to reduce our carbon footprint. Now, with respect to changes to existing neighborhoods, I do not support changes to existing neighborhoods for non-residential uses, particularly if those changes would negatively impact the characteristics of the existing community. I do think that new subdivisions are being designed differently to cover mixed uses, allowing some of the non-residential uses, provided that they have minimal impact on residents, and enhance the live-work balance that we're trying to create in Richmond Hill. We're committed to creating 15-minute communities. One day we'll have those with everything that we need within 15 minutes of one's home. So with the introduction of the TOC and the expansion of the subway, whether we agree with it or not, we'll see a new design of subdivisions that will be created. Hopefully it'll create more jobs and keep Richmond Hill residents here and reduce our carbon footprint that way, but minimizing
Very
car
good.
use.
That was a very detailed, a little bit longer than 2 minutes, but I appreciate all
These
your
are really
information.
good questions. I'm sorry.
That's okay, Reka. Okay, I love your enthusiasm. A third question. What do you see as Richmond Hill's vulnerabilities?
Okay, so one of our biggest vulnerabilities is the reduction of our commercial lands. Unfortunately, with the introduction of the TOC and the province's mandate for high density residential uses, some of our employment lands have been taken away, which continues our positioning as a bedroom community. And our intent is to create more jobs so that keep our residents here and create 15-minute communities. So that's one of our weaknesses. We need to have employment lands in order to create jobs, to keep our residents here, and do all the wonderful things we want to do with reduction of our carbon footprint and create our 15-minute communities. Another one of our big vulnerabilities, in my opinion, is a lack of public participation in municipal affairs. While we have a lot of engaged and committed residents that are engaged in making our city a better place, at the end of the day, we have one of the lowest voter turnouts in Ontario. At last election, we had 28% of Richmond Hill's population deciding our new council for 4 years. So I would say that one of the most important things, now it's more imperative than ever, that residents inform themselves as to the impact of municipal politics on their lives, and to engage and participate in the municipal voting process, because that has a very significant impact on how our future is determined, essentially.
Very good. Thank you. Fourth and last question. Imagine there was a lottery for municipalities and Richmond Hill won 50 million. How would you like to see it spent?
So if it's imaginary money, can we ask for more, please, first of all? Okay, this one might be a long one. I tried to narrow it down to my top 5. First of all, return of our community grants and our cultural grants program, and a consideration of increasing the amount per grant. So one of our main concerns that I've heard from our Richmond Hill residents, our art community, is the lack of funding for artists and the removal of our community cultural and arts grant, which was really, really significant to our local artists. I would immediately move the grant, return it, expand the eligibility criteria, and investigate to see whether we can increase the amount per grant, so that from the previous 5,000, to ensure that more local artists have an opportunity to participate. And I would also implement an appropriate review and criteria to ensure a larger group of people have access to those funds. I would donate an amount to support our local hospice expansion. As you know, our local hospice, which is the only one of its kind in Richmond Hill, is looking to expand, and we brought a successful motion to do that. Now they're looking for fundraising, and I would donate some of those funds to help with their expansion. I would launch my anti-bullying campaign in Ward 4 and all the schools in Richmond Hill. This year, Mayor West declared May 14th Be Kind to One Another Day in Richmond Hill. I want to turn that day into an entire anti-bullying month in conjunction with our Richmond Hill schools. So I would give a portion of the money to that. I would initiate a potential relocation of Crasman Center into a more ideal location. Our Crasman Center, while it provides a really incredible and essential service, valuable service that we need for our Richmond Hill homeless community, However, the location of the center is such that it creates a number of problems for both the center and the rest of the community. So in terms of the center, they are outgrowing the space that they have. It's not really meeting its demands. And it's also creating some other difficulties in the village core after hours, unfortunately. And so while we need this type of service, perhaps we could find, and it needs to be on Yonge Street, close to transit. Perhaps we could find a larger location outside of the village core, and I would contribute a part of those funds towards this effort.
Very good. Thank you for that response. We're now going on to the second portion of this, where I have 7 fun facts about the candidates, and they're to be answered quickly and with a smile.
Sure.
Okay. Are you a tea or coffee drinker?
Coffee.
Coffee. Do you prefer ebooks or real books?
Oh, real books. The smell cannot be substituted.
Do you say ketchup or catsup?
Ketchup.
Ketchup. What is your ideal place for a vacation?
Right now, Bali, on a beach somewhere.
Do you have a Mac or a PC?
Both.
Both. Okay. What's your favorite vegetable?
Brussels sprouts. They're very, very, very misrepresented.
Okay. And have you ever played pickleball?
No, I had to Google it when I got on council to see what it is.
Okay. Thank you very much, Reka. Good luck with the campaign.
Thank you, Marge.
We appreciate you spending time.
I
with
just
us.
want to say thank you for everything you do for our community, Marge. I appreciate it. Have a
You're
great
very
day.
welcome.